Welcome back to the channel. Today is the final part, finally, of getting my boat ready for the season. I'll show you guys how I clean my rods and my reels. My Aunt Shirley gave me a couple of her reels I talked about, having me clean them, so I'm going to show you how I clean them. Probably don't clean one of them because the concept of all of them is about the same, at least the step process. And then we'll grab one of my rods and I'm going to kind of show you how I clean my rods. So I'm gonna do my best to record the reel cleaning. I'm gonna definitely link, I know Tackle Junkies made a really good in-depth video, and Debo. So I'm gonna link those videos, a little bit better angles. So I'm gonna do my best, but at least show you guys the concept and tools I use. So let's get into it. So I got a whole pile of just random screwdrivers from the years of working and different pliers like that. I used to use, and I still pretty much use, these Ardent. Yeah, whatever. Reel clean kits. They're super sweet kits. I think they're like 20 bucks. It's everything you need in that pack. And once you're ready to upgrade, you can always upgrade to like the Lew's Hyperspeed lubrication, or if you buy Shimano reels, a lot of the Shimano reels come with lube. And looks like now Lew's has been doing the same thing with their own oil. Tools you'll need. Don't really have to, but I bought this giant precision kit, a bunch of smaller heads for everything I could possibly ever use. Tweezers. I mainly bought these when I was swapping my reels out last year with speed spool bearings, and if I replace any bearings, tweezers are really nice, but they should come in handy. And then I bought this Kingdom kit from the Jumbo website, and it's got pretty much everything. Put bearings in, take the outside nut off, stuff like that. So, and this also got a pair of tweezers. So I'm gonna start, get the reel out. I'm gonna show you kind of reel cleaning today, and we'll go from there. So like I said, she gave me 2 reels to clean up. She's been having casting distance issues, stuff like that. So the first one is one of her older reels. This is a Arbor Garcia Revo MGX. This thing, I think this is generation 3, so this is quite a few years old, but if you hear it, it sounds fine. It's really smooth. So I'm thinking maybe her issue is just a setup issue, but she hasn't cleaned her reels in a very long time, so no matter what, we're going to go ahead and still get these cleaned up, clean the outside. So first thing first, this is her old floor rail, so I'm going to take this off. Usually what all I do is I just loosen up my drag, and then I just pull. There's definitely faster ways if you got a faster way. I know Berkeley makes a D-spooler. I think a few other companies make like D-spoolers, but for this instance, I'm just gonna hand spool it. So we'll get this line off, and then we'll go from there. All right, so I got it all off. But it's kind of cool to be working on this reel because my Aunt Shirley and my Grandpa Paul, whatever guys talked about, how we talked about before, are brother and sister. So Paul used to have a bunch of these Revo MGXs. He used to have, I think it was generation 3 or generation 4 rockets. So this is kind of what I started with, is these Revos, these older style Revos, and whatever they had on their boat. So it's kind of cool to kind of bring back good old childhood memories when life was simpler and easier. And didn't have bills and all that fun stuff. Let's get tired of talking about all that stuff. So never cleaned one of these, never worked on one, so we're gonna try to figure it out using your reels. I'm trying to see if I can find another one in front of me, but usually there's a latch. It's usually a latch through here, or I know like a lot of the newer Lew's, you gotta pull on this. I think this is, from what it looks like, if I can get an angle on it, not really. There's a flathead screw, so I'm assuming this comes off. I got some flatheads right here. Yeah, so that just pops off. So this reel is not designed to be the side plate taken off for adjustment reasons. So all your adjustments happen on this outside, which I'm more okay when this is like this, when I can make all my adjustments on the outside. But honestly, I don't know what kind of braking system this has. Does that come all the way out? So I think it's been a very long time since this last thing's been off, because I loosen this as far as I can go. It doesn't look like it comes out, but this thing is just not coming out. So I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna start taking this side plate off because I know I can take this off. Another flathead right there. So just take this. Set that up. Another tip is either when you do this for the first time, either record it on your phone, prop your phone up, record, show what parts come off, show them how they come off, or take your parts, just set them out right there, and I'll pull them off. I think Tackle Junkie talked about this, but I pull them off. So this brass part was on top, the black part's on bottom. Then I'll remember I picked it off like this, so I'll set it down. So then in my little brain, when I pick it back up, it goes back on how I have it set it out. So now we're gonna grab our little nut taker offer. So this has 10 and 11. Looks like a 10. Yep. That's alright. So I don't need to take some mental notes. This stuff, all this is pretty loose. So either that's how Arbo likes it, or it's been that long. So same thing, just set it down. Pull this up. Same thing. I fell over, no big deal. This is slightly different. So this goes on by twisting, if you can see. So when I turn it out, it comes out. There's a little washer there. So make sure I don't lose that. But this comes on like that. By turning that, a lot of times your handle and your nut holds pressure for this, so this is a little bit different. I've noticed it more and more on the higher end reels do that. So I'm gonna just slowly take that off. I'm assuming there's gonna be some bearing somewhere in this thing. Take that top washer. So flip the handle over. I'm waiting for like a spring or something, just some flying out. Nothing. Okay. Yeah, that's definitely dirty. There's already black stuff coming out of this thing. And now we pull that out. Set it down like that. If you can see, it is gummy. So it's been a long time. So next we're gonna get this little. So this is just twist off. And then that's you saw that thing fall. This thing right here. This is what makes it click. So when you tighten your drawing, you hear that clicking noise. That's all it is, a little washer. So clean that. It goes like that. Bearing looks fine. So now we're gonna take these side. So when I take my reels apart every year, some people take them down to like the frame and clean from there. I don't. I just get down to the bearings and the gears, and I just do a quick investigation of everything. I do a light cleaning, and then I pull my grease, put some new grease on, stuff like that. So I do not take the reels completely apart. Some people are different. If you like to do that, I know it's more important in saltwater. I believe so. So if it's more important where you fish to do that, more power to you. But for where I fish and what I do, I've been doing this forever and never have any issues. So, is there any more screws? Oh, there's one right there. Oh, so look at that. So, Lou's made out to be, it looks like a grease port. We got a grease port on the side. If you ask Lou's, that's their idea. Looks like Arbo's been doing it for quite a few years. Wow, they didn't even try to not copycat. That's literally the same way Lou's work. Come on, Lou's. At least attempt to make it slightly different. Anyway, so that's pretty cool to know about this reel, is that it has If you see in there, there's my gear. That's our main gear right there. So actually, I can turn this. The main gear looks fine. I can kind of look inside. The interior, I know you guys can't see, but you got our main gear here. There's a little gear inside. I think that's a worm gear. I'm not really great on the nomenclature, but this main gear looks really good. That little gear inside, that thing looks dirty, but this main gear looks pretty good. So, trying to see if there's any other screws. I think that's it. How do I get this side? What I'm trying not to do, I know this reel's old. You can see she's used it a ton. I don't really want to take a screwdriver to start prying. I might try to find a video how to take this side plate off. My theory is still, I don't see any screws. My theory is it's just because how old it is and how long it's been since it's been cleaned that it's just being a pain in the butt coming out. That's what I'm really thinking towards. But this is also not coming out. I would assume this comes out. And I want to keep pushing back and forth because sometimes you can break some of the points inside. Aha, okay. So, I was right, it was seized. But I kept thinking maybe it was a pop-off motion. Nope. So I think it was just seized. So, I'll clean that up a little bit. But so there's a centrifugal braking system. I wonder if this... So you got the basic centrifugal type. Look at that little stubby. That's a little stubby spool shaft. But it is a P2 support bearing. That's nice. I think it's just dirty. You can see my fingers already. It doesn't look like... You can turn those on, turn those off. So it's kind of like the loose ACB brakes. I'm trying to remember. I'm not using any of the high-end Shimano reels, but pretty basic. So we got that. So does this come off now? Alright. So I keep thinking if this bearing comes out, but I keep seeing this little plastic thing. I wonder if that pops out. Oh, it does. So I'm just thinking that's like a, oh, it's got a sleeve. That thing's nasty. So that'll pop up and go right there. So once again, if you don't feel like tearing this whole thing apart, once again, you got your grease spot. So you can really not do any of this right here. You can just grease. Usually do a dab. I turn it, you know, about halfway. Well, it's all everything on loose right now, but about halfway. Another grease point, another grease, and then I close it up. And then after that, all you do is just clean all this outside. But I want to try to get this whole thing torn apart, but it is just being a little. Okay, so let's find this for a minute. And there is another little screw. I don't know if you can really see it, but way up in there. That little, I don't think I have any Phillips small enough. We'll go to our kit here. Now watch, this side plate's gonna pop right off. I always thought there was an inside screw, I just didn't know. Because you know, everyone's gonna make their reel slightly different. There we go. So that slides right off. So that's the internals of a Gen 3 Revo. Took no time at all. 5 minutes. In and out. Don't do this on the water. So the only things I've ever really lost, this thing is nasty, is these little springs and those springs. So we're just gonna, I don't want to take those off. But you just look through. I know. I apologize again for camera angles and stuff. It's got some wear on the main gear. It's just dirty. So I'm going to try and take off everything that could cause me issues. Once again, just record this process. Got the little spring. Main gear comes off. Behind looks too bad. Not too bad. I don't want to tear this thing too much apart. because my afraid is I will lose something. I'm pretty confident there. Everything else is still hooked up. There's that little screw. Nope, don't want to do that. So we're gonna leave that where that's at. So now I'm gonna take a rag and I'm gonna start cleaning everything. But also you can do, especially for these tight areas, these are my favorite. They're like a little foam tip. But forgot to get some. So if you don't have any, just go to your wife's makeup bag, or just go to your bathroom and get some Q-tips. So we're gonna pull up our Arnett bag, our Arnett box right here, and this is what's inside. You got clean, real oil, a screwdriver, and grease. Also comes with a little toothpick, or sorry, toothbrush, and it comes with those little foam things. So not foam things anymore. So what we're gonna do, I want to talk about this off screen, but we're gonna take a real cleaner and just spray. We'll take a Q-tip, and then we're just gonna get in there and just start cleaning stuff. Would it be a better cleaning to take it all the way apart? Absolutely, because then you can really dissect it. But we're just trying to get all this grease off and just make this reel run a little better. I think it's a setup issue, because she had it, how she had it set up, not a fan of. So, but we're gonna go ahead and get everything clean. So, clean the shaft, always try to get all of that clean. And there's this, so this hole right here, our connecting stuff goes to this, so I'm gonna try and get that clean. Oop, just knocked that out. I lied, that little thing's coming out. All right, took two more things off. This is the little holder for that guy, so we're gonna just go ahead and clean that where it below is at. Only main issue by doing this is if you have an older reel, if you lose something, sometimes it's hard to find parts. Newer reels, these parts are like $2, $3. So don't be too afraid if you lose anything. All companies have a parts breakdown, so that was pretty clean. So now we can put that back. But this has some grease on it, so we're gonna go ahead, and everyone can put in the comments section their favorite grease. But like I said, some real butter, this will work. Especially starting out, there's no point in spending $30 on different greases and oils. So just put a little bit on there. So that grease could have came from this guy, but this had it, so we're just gonna go ahead and copycat. And that's that right there. Kind of like a holder. I'm gonna set that guy back on there. Do apologize, not giving you the best angle. I'm just trying to make sure this gets done correctly. So that's back on there. Now we can work on getting this big guy cleaned back up. Because once he gets cleaned back up, we got our two little springs. Try to check. Yeah, that's everything else except that. Probably put a little bit of grease. We're gonna put a little grease on that guy. Off camera, use that real cleaner again. And I got a little microfiber cleaning towel thing. Ooh, just noticed that. So you guys don't make the mistake. That's not attached. That's just sitting on there. So what we're gonna take that off. Okay. Grease there. A couple spots for grease. And we'll take this guy and sit him back down on that guy, like so. Big screw and down here. Forgot to show, I did clean this up a little bit. It's kind of a pain in the butt to get everything in there and clean it. So I just did my best to just wiping it down. You just do your best to try and get as much everything, but the main thing to me is that internal. I gotta make sure these bearings are lubed up. I do need to put some grease on that guy before we take that apart, but we got the outside still. So we're gonna make sure that guy seems tight. So now I'm gonna just take my green cleaner. We can close that up because we already cleaned that. No, so now I'm gonna take the real cleaner and just kind of spray around. Take Q-tips, my rag, and just start trying to wipe everything down best I can. I'm pretty sure I spent more time trying to get this worm gear or guide, whatever you call it. I spent more time trying to get that cleaned off than anything else. So this is clean. We're gonna put this to the side now. We're gonna worry about everything else now. So we got our shaft right here. Actually, it doesn't look too bad. Not bad at all. I'm just gonna take my rag and just kind of. Now we're gonna take some oil. Take some Lucas. We got a P2 bearing right here. Just a little bit of oil. A little bit of oil on the. Everyone's different. So I like to put oil here as well. Definitely on the brakes. Alrighty. Now to this guy, just going to do another just simple spray over, clean it up, and then I'll lube that up. Or I'll lube the bearing up, I mean, sorry. Alright. So that was up, down. So that's lined back up now. Alright, so I cleaned that up. Oh, that little washer to pop off. Clean our little washer set right there. I just kind of clean those up a little bit. And these washers, if you don't get it right the first time, then just flip them, but they're usually concaved. I'll put that on. Yeah, something's definitely not. Okay. Where did that go again? Oh, that was on the bearing. It's not clicking now, so I put the click washer upside down. Get this out of the way. So I don't know if you wasn't really talking, but wasn't clicking. So all you gotta do is just flip it. Once you flip it, then it's back to do those clicking noises. A little spacer dropped out, so just put that on straight. So not super hard, you know. Honestly, it's just getting used to it, the confidence, and just trying to make sure you take it off, you put it back on the exact same way. If you do that, you're not going to mess anything up. So she did give me some new line to put on this. I'm gonna put some line on it, and I'm gonna go test it. Everything's lubed up now, so we should be rocking and rolling. It's pretty oily still because I cleaned the living crap out of it. So I'm going to show you guys and gals how I do my rods every year. And the rods are a lot easier. So the rod is a lot simpler, of course. This is my l.omeara 733. I used a crap ton last year, and honestly, it doesn't look super dirty. So the first thing I do is just a quick inspection. You should do inspection every time before you go out. The mainly thing right now, I'm making sure there's no guides are messed up. If they are, then I can contact Dobbins and get a new guide. But first thing, I take my reel nut all the way off, and then I'll spray that reel cleaner right in here, all around, clean all this up real quick. Got some on there, and I'm just gonna rub it all off. You know, if you fish around grass or sand or anything like that, you should probably clean your rods more often. Like my frog rod, I probably clean that thing at least twice a year. Even if I don't catch a ton of frog fish, I'm still fishing the grass. Except that, I just take the rag. I just kind of just clean everything around. Put that reel nut back on. Now the rag is wet from cleaning that reel, so I'm just gonna take it, I'm just gonna clean the graphite. Just clean the rod up. All you're doing is trying to make the rod look a little bit nicer, a little bit cleaner. And then usually, if I can get a good angle, the guides are kind of dirty, so same concept before. Grab your Q-tip, your reel cleaner, and And you just take your guide and go on the inside and just wipe it around, and usually the outside. But the main thing with this Q-tip is get the inside, because that rag you use to clean the rod will pretty much clean the frames up and everything. So I'm gonna put that through every guide. Make sure it's all good to go. And that's why I like that foam one, because it will pop through these guides. Sometimes these Q-tips won't really go all the way through, so you just kind of do your best to clean it. So back to the rag, I'm just gonna keep going up the rod blank and just kind of clean around the guides. And once again, this is just to make the rods look a little bit nicer. You know, if you don't really care too much, then just worry about your guides really. But if you want to try to make sure your rods look good, this is what I do every year to try to make them at least look good for at least a few months. There's that. Now we got a cleaned off rod. I knew I forgot a step. Your little guide in there where your eye sits on. Forgot to put some grease on that. So there we have it. We got our Revo MGX cleaned up. Gotta put some line on that. Go test it. Try and get this thing dialed in. I know my inch really should throw some smaller baits, so I probably got a 1/4 ounce jig laying around here somewhere. So rig that up, and then we go get that all set back up. The initial setups for most of my reels is your cast control. Take the reel off, probably easier. Your spool, sorry, that's spool tension, cast control. Spool tension, I keep it loose until you can take your spool. I don't know if you can really see it, but the spool is moving back and forth. So once I get to do it to start moving, on this reel will be one click. You can kind of hear it. Once you do that, I take my cast control brakes, I just turn it all the way to max. Max braking. And then I'll go out and I'll make a cast. Adjust to, cast, adjust to. And when I'm talking about casting, I'm not talking just, boom, I'm just talking nice, good casts, you know. Put some effort into it, just get a good cast out there. What you're gonna typically do every day. And if your rod that you're using or you're cleaning is a rod you're just bombing all the time, then different story. You have to go to a lake to do that. But a yard, you can't really bomb cast. So the goal is just to kind of do some nice soft casts. And I usually go into a backlash. Once I backlash, then I go back one click, pick the backlash out, make a couple more casts, do some overhand casts, and then I'm usually pretty set knowing that on that bait, which is usually a bait weight that I'm typically using. Like if I'm using a jerk bait, I know I'm usually throwing 3/8 or 1/2 ounce. So I have an old Bass Pro 1/2 ounce jerk bait with no hooks. So I'll go out there with it and cast, pretend. Or those casting weights that I think Bass Pro sells, they make them like 1/8, 1/4, 1/2 or something. I will tie that onto my rod and cast with it and get it set up for the average weight of the bait I'm using. If it's a multi-purpose rod, then just pick whatever middle weight, 3/8 probably. If you don't have those casting weights, just take some lead sinkers at your boat and tie it on there. Tie a little half-ass knot and start casting. So that's it. So hope you guys enjoyed. I know it was a little chaotic, a little less confident because it's not a reel I own and I never cleaned that reel, so I was a little nervous about it. So but overall, once you dial in once you do one reel, usually the rest are pretty easy. Arbo is just a little bit different, no big deal. But it is nice having that grease port. Technically, you don't have to get anything apart, unless you, like her, and haven't cleaned your reel in multiple years. But if you do it once a year, you can just take that grease port out, pop a cup of grease, kind of clean it, oil up some stuff, and roll on. So, not sure if Hamilton Bay Tackle sells that Arctic kit, whatever kit they carry in store. I will link it below, and I'll link Debo's video and Tackle Junkie's video, because they do a really good deep dive all the way through, super close up with a nice camera. So a little bit better view, but I wanted to kind of show you guys step by step what the process is. So that's pretty much it. Now I gotta do all of my rods and reels now, all of mine. Spinning is about the same. Take the top of it off, same kind of concept, just less moving parts. But yeah, once again, I met you guys, a couple guys yesterday at the Dixie Marine swap meet. So good seeing you guys. Thank you for coming out and buying some tackle and some rods. That's going to be spent next Saturday at the Hamilton Bait and Tackle open house. They're running it from 8 to 4, I think. 8 to 5, I apologize. Go over, follow Hamilton Bait and Tackle, or follow me on my socials. I'll be posting all their sneak peeks throughout the week. If you go in the first thing in the morning, like I'm going to be there probably around 8:30, maybe closer to 9. They'll have breakfast and stuff like donuts. They usually do like donuts, coffee, fruit and stuff like that. And then I'm going to be there to probably about an hour or so, hour and a half. And then I'm rolling out and I'm going fishing because it's supposed to be nice that day. So, but if you do stay, you come later in the day, they'll have Richard's Pizza. I can't remember if it's Richard's or Chester's they're doing. But they're doing pizza at lunchtime. Chester's Pizza for lunch. So yeah. So if you're bored next Saturday, come out to Hamilton Bay Tackle, and they're over in Fairfield, and come see me. I'll be there hanging out. But all the other great actual professionals who know what the hell they're doing will be there as well to talk about tackle and gear and what they're going to use on the pro tours this year. So if you really want to learn from somebody who actually knows what he's doing, talk to those guys. But if you want to talk to your local weekend warrior just like you, then you come find me. So hope you enjoyed. I'd like to support the businesses that support me. All their contact information will be listed below, including my code at Hamilton Bay and Tackle, where you get you 10% off everything except Megabass. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.